want to be like me? No. You want to be better than me. That's how I see it. I didn't become who I am by following someone else's path. I became the best version of myself by mastering the one thing that no one can see, the mind. The mind is the real battleground, and if you can conquer it, nothing in life can stop you. Every breakthrough, every victory I've had, started with mastering my thoughts, overcoming self-doubt, and turning challenges into fuel. I've spent years learning, testing, and sharpening my mental focus, and now I'm ready to share the 8 unstoppable secrets that help me create an unshakable mindset. These are the same secrets that allowed me to break through my limits, face fear head-on, and achieve things that seemed impossible. Apply these to your life, and you won't just master your mind. You'll unlock the limitless power within you to create the life you've always dreamed of. You are the master of your mind, or your mind masters you. Listen carefully. The mind is like a battlefield, and every thought you have is a soldier in this fight. The thoughts you choose to entertain can either lead you to victory or pull you deeper into defeat. Your mind is incredibly powerful, but it can also be your worst enemy if you don't learn how to control it. I know this from experience. Your thoughts can trap you in a prison of fear, anxiety, and self-doubt. The moment you let these negative thoughts take hold, they start controlling your actions, which ultimately limits your potential. Here's the truth. The mind is like a wild horse that needs to be tamed. If you don't control it, it will run wild, and you'll end up being led by fear, worry, and uncertainty. When this happens, your dreams, your goals, and your true potential become distant illusions. But when you take control of your mind, you can turn it into your greatest ally. You begin to see challenges as opportunities, failures as lessons, and setbacks as stepping stones. Your mind, once tamed, becomes a powerful force that pushes you towards your goals. Now think about this. Who's really in control of your life? Are you letting your thoughts and emotions dictate your actions, or are you taking command of your own mind? If you allow your mind to run wild, it will run your life. But when you take the reins and decide what goes in, you begin to shape your destiny. The power to change, to grow, and to achieve greatness is already inside you. It's just a matter of taking back control. Your thoughts, your mindset, and your focus are all under your command. Take control now, and watch how your life transforms. Who's in control, you or your mind? The answer is up to you. Eliminate the unnecessary. Focus on the one thing. Think about this. Every day, you have a limited amount of time, energy, and attention. The world constantly bombards you with distractions, pulling you in 1,000 different directions. It's easy to get overwhelmed, to feel like you need to do everything at once or be everywhere at once. But Bruce Lee didn't live like that. He focused on the one thing that mattered most at any given moment, and that focus became his strength. We all have dreams, goals, and ambitions, but the key to achieving them is not spreading yourself thin across 1,000,000 different things. It's about simplifying your life, cutting out the noise, and focusing on what will truly move you forward. Imagine trying to run a race with a backpack full of unnecessary weight. You'd tire out faster, and you wouldn't perform at your best. That's what happens when you allow distractions, clutter, and unnecessary commitments to take up space in your life. They drain your energy and scatter your focus. Bruce Lee understood that the path to mastery is not through doing more, but through doing less, but doing it with more focus and intent. He would say, it's not the daily increase, but the daily decrease. Hack away at the unessential. This means getting rid of anything that doesn't directly contribute to your goal, whether it's relationships that drain you, habits that don't serve you, or tasks that don't align with your purpose. eliminate them. The less you carry, the faster and more efficiently you can move toward your goals. By focusing on just one thing, you give it your full attention and energy. And when you do this, you'll start to see results faster. You'll stop feeling overwhelmed and scattered, and instead, you'll feel a sense of clarity and purpose in everything you do. If you want to be great, if you want to master your life, you need to stop trying to juggle everything at once. Ask yourself, what is the one thing I can focus on today that will get me closer to my dream? Start there. Cut out everything else. When you make this shift, you'll experience a whole new level of productivity and success. Absorb, don't just collect knowledge. In today's world, we're constantly surrounded by information. We're bombarded by books, podcasts, videos, articles, endless streams of knowledge. But just because you have access to all this information doesn't mean it's actually benefiting you. The real question is, are you truly absorbing it? Are you taking the time to understand it, internalize it, and turn it into something meaningful in your life? Bruce Lee didn't simply collect knowledge like a hoarder filling a shelf with books. He took what was useful, what resonated with him, and made it his own. His philosophy was simple. Absorb what is useful, discard what is not, add what is uniquely your own. He didn't let the sheer volume of information overwhelm him. Instead, he focused on using only the pieces of knowledge that he could truly apply to his life and his practice. Every lesson, every technique he learned was not just memorized, it was absorbed, internalized, and transformed into action. This is where most people fall short. They collect knowledge but fail to apply it. You may read hundreds of books or watch endless motivational videos, but if you don't put what you've learned into practice, it's all just empty information. It doesn't change your life. What makes knowledge powerful is its ability to move you to action, to guide your decisions, and to shape who you are. To truly absorb knowledge, you have to engage with it on a deeper level. Don't just read for the sake of reading. When you learn something new, ask yourself, how can I use this? How can I make this part of who I am? If it doesn't serve you, let it go. But if it can help you grow, adopt it into your life and watch how it transforms you. Think about it this way. You don't need to know everything, just the right things. The difference between someone who knows a lot and someone who is truly wise is the ability to make knowledge actionable. It's not about what you know. It's about what you do with what you know. When you absorb knowledge, you create a foundation for your life. You begin to make decisions, take actions, and build habits based on what you've truly internalized. The wisdom you gain then becomes the fuel for your success. So stop passively collecting knowledge. Actively absorb it, integrate it, and make it work for you. Only then will it begin to shape your mind, your actions, and your life in powerful, meaningful ways. Feel no fear, focus on the present. Fear is a natural part of being human, but Bruce Lee taught us something crucial. Fear is only powerful when we allow it to control us. Fear doesn't have to hold you back. It doesn't have to paralyze you. The real power comes when you learn to acknowledge your fears, but refuse to let them dictate your actions. Most people let fear of failure, fear of judgment, and fear of the unknown prevent them from taking the first step toward their goals. Bruce Lee didn't let fear control him. Instead, he taught us how to face it and use it as fuel. Here's the truth. Fear is not something that just happens to you. It's a mental construct. It lives in your mind, often based on worries about the future or the things you can't control. What you fear rarely ever happens in the way you imagine. When you are afraid, you're not living in the present moment. You're living in a future that hasn't even arrived yet, and most likely will never look like you expect. Bruce Lee lived by one simple rule: focus on the present. The only moment that truly matters is right now, right here. If you are constantly worrying about what could happen in the future, you miss the power of the present moment. The present is where your true strength lies. Every time you allow your mind to drift into worry about what may or may not come, you are taking away your ability to act with clarity and purpose in the present. What if I told you that all that energy you spend fearing the unknown could be better used focusing on what you can do right now? When Bruce Lee trained, he wasn't thinking about the match that would come tomorrow, next month, or next year. He was present in every single moment. He was fully engaged in the now, whether it was his practice, his philosophy, or his mindset. And that's where his greatness came from. It wasn't about worrying about the outcome. It was about focusing on what he could control in that moment. Think about your own life. How many times has fear stopped you from taking action? How many opportunities have you missed because you were thinking about what could go wrong instead of focusing on what you could do right now? Fear holds you back by robbing you of your power in the present. But when you decide to focus on the here and now, fear loses its grip on you. You start to realize that you're capable of more than you ever thought possible. Bruce Lee didn't deny that fear existed. In fact, he acknowledged it. He said, "Absorb what is useful, discard what is not, add what is uniquely your own." Fear was simply another emotion to acknowledge and understand, but not to let it control him. He channeled his fear into energy, into action, into determination, and that's where the magic happened. Every time you feel fear, don't run from it. Instead, use it. Let it remind you that you're on the edge of growth, of something new, of breaking through your limits. The key is to not let fear make decisions for you. Let your focus on the present moment do that. Every small action you take in the present moment is a step forward. Don't wait for the perfect time. Don't wait for the fear to go away. Instead, act now. In that action, fear loses its power. So when fear comes knocking at your door, don't let it stop you. Don't let it hold you back from what you're capable of. Step into the present, focus on what you can do right now, and take that first step. That's how you break free from fear. That's how you move forward, and that's how you unlock your true potential. The only moment you truly have is now. Use it. Embrace the struggle, it's your strength. The world tells you that struggle is something to avoid, something to be feared. But Bruce Lee understood the truth. Struggle is the path to strength. The very challenges that seem like obstacles in your way are actually the tools that shape you, mold you, and prepare you for greatness. Too many people shy away from difficulty, thinking that success comes easily or that it should be free of pain. But the truth is, growth only comes through struggle. If you want to be the best version of yourself, you must embrace the fight. Think about this for a moment. When you're training, when you're pushing your limits, when you're facing discomfort, what do you feel? Pain, exhaustion, frustration. Yes, but you also feel something else. Resilience. Struggle brings out the hidden strength within you, the part of you that you didn't even know existed. Bruce Lee didn't run from discomfort. He thrived in it. His entire philosophy was built on overcoming challenges, both in the martial arts ring and in life. When you face adversity, you are forced to adapt. You are forced to find new ways of thinking, to evolve, and to push past what you thought were your limits. Each struggle, no matter how small or big, is a lesson. It teaches you about your own perseverance, your capacity to endure, and your ability to overcome. But here's the thing. If you always avoid struggle, you rob yourself of the opportunity to grow stronger. I want you to stop and think for a second. What struggle are you avoiding right now? What fear? What challenge? What difficulty is standing in front of you that you're trying to run from? Maybe it's a tough conversation you've been putting off. Maybe it's an uncomfortable change you know you need to make. Whatever it is, know this. It's not the struggle itself that defines you. It's how you respond to it. Bruce Lee's life was a testament to the power of embracing hardship. Every punch, every kick, every drop of sweat in his training sessions was part of his journey to mastery. He said, "Absorb what is useful, discard what is not, add what is uniquely your own." He didn't avoid hardship, he integrated it into his philosophy. He knew that true strength didn't come from avoiding pain, but from transforming pain into power. What happens when you face your struggles head on? You develop resilience. You learn that you can handle more than you thought possible. The very things that once seemed impossible become stepping stones toward your success. Instead of feeling defeated, you feel empowered. Each struggle you conquer builds your mental and emotional muscle. And as you keep embracing the struggle, you begin to realize that life is not a smooth, easy ride. It's a series of challenges that push you to grow. Struggle isn't just about pushing through physical pain. It's also about mental and emotional endurance. When life gets hard, when your mind starts to doubt, when the pressure builds, when it feels like the world is against you, that's when you need to dig deep and find that inner strength. That's when you need to remind yourself that growth is happening right there, in the middle of the struggle. It's easy to be comfortable, but nothing extraordinary comes from comfort. Bruce Lee never sought comfort. He wanted to know his limits and break through them. He wanted to know just how far he could go, and so should you. So when you're in the midst of your own battle, remember this. The struggle is not your enemy. The struggle is your teacher. It's showing you what you're made of. It's sharpening your skills, your resolve, and your character. And most importantly, it's preparing you for the next level of your success. Do not fear struggle. Embrace it. Every challenge is an opportunity for you to evolve, to grow, and to step into your full potential. The struggle is where the transformation happens. So face it head on. Keep moving forward. Your strength will grow in ways you never imagined. Stop imitating, be yourself. In a world full of influencers, role models, and figures who seem to have it all figured out, it's easy to get lost in the idea that you have to be someone else to succeed. But Bruce Lee taught us something profound. You don't need to imitate anyone. You need to become the best version of yourself. The key to greatness isn't copying others, no matter how successful or impressive they may seem. The key to greatness is authenticity. When you stop pretending to be someone else, you free yourself to be your true self. And that's when your real power emerges. Think about how many times you've looked at someone you admire, whether it's a celebrity, an entrepreneur, or someone in your life, and thought, if I could just be like them, I'd be successful. The truth is, that kind of thinking traps you in a cycle of comparison, self-doubt, and frustration. You start measuring your worth based on someone else's journey. But Bruce Lee never compared himself to others. He didn't try to copy anyone, because he knew that the greatest success comes from within, not from imitating someone else's path. He believed that the key to mastering yourself was to stop being a copy and start being the real, authentic you. When you try to imitate someone else, you're only following their path, not your own. You're limiting yourself to their vision and their way of doing things. But your life is unique, and your journey is one only you can walk. Bruce Lee often said, "Absorb what is useful, discard what is not, add what is uniquely your own." This means that you can take inspiration from others, but you must make it your own. What works for someone else might not work for you. And what worked for Bruce Lee wasn't a one-size-fits-all solution. His greatness came from blending what he learned into something entirely unique to him. Think about it. What is it that makes you different from everyone else? Your experiences, your perspective, your way of thinking, these are your unique strengths. When you try to imitate others, you're not allowing those strengths to come forward. Instead, you're suppressing the very thing that will set you apart from the crowd. You have something that no one else has, your true self, and that's where your true power lies. Bruce Lee's success wasn't just about martial arts. It was about his mindset, his philosophy, and his relentless drive to express his authentic self. He didn't seek approval from others or try to fit into a mold. He created his own mold. When you try to be someone else, you're telling yourself that who you are isn't enough. But you have everything you need right now to become the best version of yourself. It starts with embracing your individuality and understanding that your uniqueness is your greatest asset. How do you break free from this cycle of imitation? First, you must recognize the value of being yourself. Stop comparing yourself to others. Stop judging your progress based on what someone else is doing. Your journey is yours alone, and it will unfold in its own time and in its own way. When you stop imitating, you begin to discover who you truly are, what makes you tick, what lights you up, and where your passions lie. The world doesn't need another copy of someone else. It needs you, the real, unfiltered, unapologetically authentic version of you. When you embrace who you are, you'll stop chasing success in the way others define it. You'll start defining success for yourself based on your own values, your own path, and your own vision of what you want to achieve. So let go of the need to fit in. Let go of the comparisons. Let go of trying to be someone else. Instead, focus on becoming the best you can be. As Bruce Lee said, knowing is not enough. We must apply. Willing is not enough. We must do. When you stop imitating and start being yourself, you will unlock a power within you that no one else can replicate. You are the only one who can live your life. Make it count. Energy follows focus. Where attention goes, energy flows. In life, there is one undeniable truth. Where you focus your attention, you direct your energy. Bruce Lee understood this concept deeply. He didn't scatter his energy on 1,000 things at once. He wasn't interested in being good at everything. He was interested in being exceptional at the things that mattered most to him. And he knew that in order to achieve greatness, he had to focus all of his energy on the things that would get him closer to his goals. Energy follows focus. Whatever you give your attention to, you pour your energy into it, and it expands. That's why focus is so powerful. It becomes the lens through which your energy and efforts are channeled. Most people in today's world live in a state of constant distraction. Our phones, social media, work demands, and even our own self-doubt pull our attention in so many directions. We're spread thin, trying to do everything at once, and in the process, our energy is scattered. We end up feeling exhausted, unaccomplished, and frustrated. We're giving our energy to everything, but making little to no progress in the areas that matter most. Bruce Lee's approach was the opposite. He wasn't interested in trying to multitask or spread his energy across 100 different things. He understood that to truly achieve success, you must direct your energy to the one thing that is most important to you at that moment. When you focus on something, whether it's a task, a project, or a personal goal, you give it your energy, and that energy starts to compound. The more you focus on something, the more your energy intensifies and the more progress you make. Bruce Lee practiced this in every aspect of his life. He didn't waste his mental energy on distractions or meaningless pursuits. Instead, he focused intently on his training, his philosophy, and his personal growth. Every action, every movement, every thought was deliberate and centered on his purpose. This single-mindedness allowed him to reach extraordinary levels of mastery. In your own life, the question is, where are you putting your attention? Are you scattered, dividing your energy between things that don't align with your goals? Or are you laser focused on the one thing that will move you forward? If your energy is scattered, you will find yourself stuck in a cycle of frustration and underachievement. You can't expect to make significant progress in any area of life if you're not giving it your full attention. Let's take a moment to think about your own goals. What is it that you truly want to accomplish? Whether it's personal growth, success in your career, or building better relationships, you can't expect to achieve it if your focus is divided. It's time to refocus your energy. The first step is to eliminate distractions and commit to putting your full energy into what matters most. This isn't just about hard work. It's about working with focus. Bruce Lee didn't train harder than anyone else. He trained smarter. He understood that energy is finite. By focusing only on what mattered, he maximized the impact of his efforts. Instead of throwing himself into countless tasks, he gave his full attention to the one thing that would drive him forward. And as a result, his progress was exponential. Another key part of focusing your energy is learning to say no. Every time you say yes to something that doesn't align with your goals or values, you are spreading your energy thinner. This is especially difficult in a world where we're conditioned to say yes to every opportunity or request. But if you want to make real progress, you need to guard your energy and protect your focus. Bruce Lee's focus wasn't just physical, it was mental and emotional as well. He understood that energy is not only about physical action, it's about mental clarity and emotional alignment. When you focus on your goals, you become mentally sharper, and your emotions begin to align with your purpose. Instead of reacting to life, you begin to respond intentionally, and that's when you truly begin to make progress. One of the most powerful things Bruce Lee ever said was, "The successful warrior is the average man with laser-like focus." It's not about being the best at everything. It's about being the best at what matters. When you focus your energy like a laser beam, you cut through the noise and distractions. Your path becomes clear, and the results speak for themselves. So, take a step back and ask yourself, where is my attention going right now? Is it aligned with the life you want to create? If not, it's time to shift your focus. When you direct your energy toward what truly matters, you'll begin to see incredible changes in your life. Success is not a matter of doing more. It's a matter of focusing on what truly moves you toward your goal and then pouring all your energy into it. Remember, energy follows focus. When you give your attention to what matters most, you become unstoppable. Bruce Lee believed that there were no limits to what a person could achieve. His entire philosophy was built on the understanding that the only true limits we face in life are the ones we place on ourselves. The most significant barrier between where you are now and where you want to be is the belief that you can't get there. In other words, your biggest enemy isn't the external world or the challenges around you. It's the limits you impose on yourself in your mind. From the very beginning of his career, Bruce Lee was told he couldn't make it. He was too small, too young, too unconventional. He didn't fit the mold of the traditional martial artist. But instead of letting those opinions define him, he rejected those limits. He believed that anyone, regardless of size, background, or circumstances, could break through any barrier if they had the right mindset. We let our minds become our prisons. We create limits that don't even exist and hold ourselves back because of them. We tell ourselves that we can't achieve something because we're not talented enough, not strong enough, or not worthy enough. But these are self-imposed limitations, beliefs we choose to accept. The truth is, if you remove those beliefs, you'll find that there is so much more potential within you than you ever realized. Think about it. How many times have you told yourself you can't do something, only to later discover that, with the right mindset and a little effort, it was completely possible? Those self-limiting beliefs are often rooted in fear, doubt, and a lack of self-confidence. But once you recognize that these beliefs are just thoughts, not truths, you can start to dismantle them. Bruce Lee's greatest strength wasn't just his physical abilities or his martial arts skills. It was his unshakable belief in his own potential. He pushed the limits of his body, his mind, and his spirit because he refused to accept the limitations others placed on him. He didn't see his size as a disadvantage. He saw it as an opportunity to become more agile, more precise, more powerful in ways others couldn't be. He was living proof that the mind shapes your reality, and if you believe something is possible, you will find a way to make it happen. When you understand that your mind has the power to break down barriers, you start to see the world differently. You stop seeing challenges as obstacles that are too big to overcome and start seeing them as opportunities for growth. You begin to realize that failure isn't something to fear, but something to embrace. Failure is a tool that teaches you what doesn't work, and that knowledge brings you closer to success. The real failure is in giving up before you even try. Bruce Lee famously said, "Absorb what is useful, discard what is not, add what is uniquely your own." This applies not only to martial arts, but to life. You must absorb everything you can learn, discard the limits imposed on you, and apply what works to push beyond your current self. The question is, what limits are you holding on to? What are the beliefs you've allowed to shape your world? Is it the belief that you aren't good enough? Or that success is only for other people? Those beliefs aren't true. They are simply self-imposed barriers. The only real limits are the ones you create in your own mind. Once you understand this, you have the power to break through them. Start by challenging the beliefs that have been holding you back. When a thought arises telling you that something is impossible, ask yourself, why do I believe that? What evidence do I have that supports this belief? And more importantly, what evidence do I have that contradicts it? Often, you'll find that the belief you hold is based on fear or a past experience that no longer defines you. You are not the same person you were yesterday, and you are certainly not bound by the beliefs that once held you back. Bruce Lee believed in limitless potential, and so should you. When you remove the limits you've placed on yourself, you open the door to infinite possibilities. It's not about being perfect or flawless. It's about continuously breaking through barriers, shattering the illusion of limits, and embracing the freedom to pursue your highest potential. The truth is, you have the ability to achieve far more than you ever thought possible. The only thing standing in your way is the belief that you can't. So, start today. Recognize the limits you've placed on yourself and challenge them. Don't let fear or doubt dictate what you can or can't do. Break free from those self-imposed boundaries, and you'll be amazed at how much more you can accomplish. Bruce Lee's legacy is a testament to the power of rejecting limits. He didn't let anyone tell him what he could or couldn't do, and neither should you. The only thing standing between you and your goals is the belief that they're out of reach. Once you let go of that, you'll unlock the limitless potential within you. There are no limits, only the limits you create in your mind. The only thing that can stop you is your own belief that you can't. Break free from that belief, and there is nothing you cannot achieve. Bruce Lee's teachings were never just about martial arts. They were about mastering the most powerful tool you have, your mind. His principles transcend any single discipline and can be applied to every aspect of life. From embracing struggle to recognizing that there are no limits beyond the ones we place on ourselves, Bruce Lee's philosophy offers a roadmap to personal greatness. His message is clear. The mind is the true battleground, and if you learn to control it, you can overcome any challenge and achieve anything you set your heart on. When you focus your energy, remove self-imposed limits, and embrace the present moment, you unlock a power within yourself that is unstoppable. Every obstacle becomes an opportunity, and every struggle is a stepping stone toward greatness. You don't need to imitate anyone else. You need to be the best version of you, unique, authentic, and unstoppable. Now it's your turn to take these lessons and apply them to your own life. Ask yourself, where are you placing your focus? What beliefs are holding you back? Are you letting fear control your decisions? The answers to these questions hold the key to your success. Remember, you are limitless. You are not defined by your past, by your circumstances, or by anyone else's expectations. You have the power to break through any barrier, to rewrite your story, and to achieve the life you desire. It all starts with mastering your mind, embracing your struggles, and believing in your potential. So, take a deep breath, step forward with confidence, and apply these teachings to your own life. Your journey to greatness starts now. One thought, one action, one belief at a time. Be like water, flow through the challenges and let nothing stand in your way. The world is yours to conquer.